And now it's working. Okay. I'll just re-summarize quickly. I've got these ESP32 two buttons. The code running on there is the code that I had for my OBS client, and I've bound the two buttons to two scenes that I have. I now would like to have an LED next to each button, and that LED would reflect the status. But I don't want to have a disconnected status in a way that basically just has an initial state, and when I click the button just sets that thing there. I want to do it in a way that if I change the scene on my laptop, then it also notifies the ESP32 as a client that the scene changed without the button being pressed. For that, I need to use the events on the WebSocket that OBS will send. And I'm just opening the door because it's a bit hot in here. The problem with that is that my OBS client or MessagePack library, I don't know which one, is a little bit flaky for those things. So what I want to do first is I want to support requests and responses with my OBS client. So the idea is that you can send a request and it will obviously send it over the network, and it will also kind of in pre-allocated memory store information, and then when data comes back that can be parsed depending on the opcode. It can then dispatch an event, basically call a function pointed by a function pointer set by whoever sent the request to basically say there was a response on this, right? And then alongside that, I also want to see handling events, right, automatically. So we're going to do that, and the first thing is we need a good set of examples of like real request and responses that we can use to test. Like I don't know if I want to. I'm trying to figure out how I would want to, like, if I was to try to do some unit tests for that, I would either need to completely mock the read and write. So I could actually have like a preloaded library which is a mock version of read and write for the purpose of the test. But I don't really. That seems like going too far. So I think for now I would just try it in the client and then see where that goes. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to write some code first, and then we'll see where that goes. So the idea is there will be a function, maybe even like after dispatch. That's going to be well, I'm going to have a struct first. Let me think about that. I'm either going to have a pre-allocated memory for some objects. Yeah, I think this is what I'm going to do. All right, I need to store a number of in-flight requests. Now, we can come up with a reasonable amount of maximum in-flight requests, because the reality is that they should reply fairly quickly, and unless you send thousands of them in very quick successions, we'd have a problem. And also, I think we could make it so that you can tweak the capacity of those requests, like in-flight requests. So I see it in two ways. One, I can either have a large-ish fixed array of pointers to such structures, right? And then when you want to kind of register a listener for the response of a request, you need to provide the structure. Now, from a epoll and callback, it's not great because you would have to like keep. Oh, there's a cat coming to visit me. The neighbor's cat's coming to visit me. Get out. And now I know that if I leave that door open, the cat is going to come in. Yeah, so the idea is like let's start thinking about the signature of what I want. That's going to be easier. So if I go to void main here, for example, and then in there I'm going to have a OBS client, right? Client. I'm going to initialize to null just for the purpose, and I'm going to have an OBS client. Let's say there's a thing that's going to be you know, change scene, right? This is the one that exists, but I'm just going to mock it. Client, and then you're going to give it like chat, right? And then I either have a variant, which is like with response, or you always have to provide a response, and maybe I give you like a no op version if you want to just not provide anything. But in there you would have on scene changed with like whatever state you have. So maybe you just provide the client as the state. Now this is super convenient because you don't need to carry any state. It actually is provided and flies around, right? But that means that the OBS client kind of state, like the structure, needs to contain the actual data for the structures, because it will store the function pointer, the data pointer, and a bunch of other things, like the ID of the request and things like that. It's not really large, but it's one thing. If I wanted to do it in another way, I could do it like this, right? That would basically say, and then what you would get is a struct OBS in flight, or OBS pending. I think dbus calls it a pending. And then it could be a star, and it could be a pending, and you could do this, right? Now what that means is that the structure OBS client would only contain a fixed array of pointers to such, actually I'm just saying the wrong thing there. This would be the same thing. It's only if you do something like this, right? Actually, if you get the thing back, you can't do anything. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. This would be the one if you were to say and handler, and then the handler would have all of the things inside that you would need to set it, but then I need to store this myself. Okay, I've set up my mind. So I've made my mind up. I don't know why set up my mind is such a weird thing to say. Oh, it's great. It's the same as a hash file. So I'm gonna have a struct, and actually I'm going to have a for declaration for this one. Struct OBS client handler, and I'm gonna have to do this, and actually I'm gonna do it like this, right? And there I'm gonna have a void star for data, and then what's a little bit annoying is that I could generate like one function type per type of response that it is, but actually I would be much better off providing just the MessagePack and then you do something with it. Okay, let's just do that. So you're gonna get data, and then in here you're gonna have a OBS client handler fn, right? And this is just going to be something that I put right here. That's going to be type def. You're going to get a void star, and then a MessagePack something. For now, I'm not going to put it anywhere. Yeah, obviously void, right? So this is something. Then you're gonna get the request ID. Now the request ID, OBS WebSocket. So I haven't done OBS WebSocket in a while. So there should be a documentation there. That is not really. I think it's docs. That's the one. So I'm looking for a request. So you know, you got to get version, get stats. I might do a get version just to play with it, get stats and get everything, right? But when you do this, that's the response field. But in my mind, there is something that's supposed to wrap this, that has the opcode message types. There you go, request response. And then you've got request response that has a request ID, which is a string, and then the request type, the mirror of what's sent by the client. So the client can send whatever it wants, right? Request is type. But type is the actual request that you sent. Okay, so realistically, I may want to just use the ID because should I assume that like the ID is the same? Yeah, I think I should do that. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do a string compare on the ID, which is not ideal. And then there's a request data. So I can open up, I can open all of that up. So that's fine. So I do need to store the ID, and unfortunately it's gonna have to be a const char pointer ID. Ideally, it would have been just a number, but because this is a string, it comes back as a string, unless I force an incrementing number. Does the ID need to be like unique across sessions, across connections? Because if not, then it doesn't tell me what the request ID is. It's just a string, the mirrors of what was sent there. Because I don't know how OBS itself, if I end up using the same ID as another client, will it dispatch it to the wrong place? I don't think it would. I think it would be scoped by client. So I think I may actually keep it to a uint32t. And that'll be it, right? Now that means my client beyond the state has struct OBS client handler, and I'm gonna have a max concurrent. I'm gonna put OBS client, so it's kind of like max concurrent requests, and then I'm gonna do a little blippity bloop in here. If and def this, define this 16. Just something simple there. Did I put a semicolon at the end of this? No. Struct, oh, in flight. I'm going to go in flight because I like it. Or should I say requests? I think I like requests. Now what that means is I can actually do a request handler thing, and then I can wrap those request handlers with functions like set current program scene by name, or not even bother by that. I could have just something that just populates the request rather than just something that that wraps the whole thing. But now I should be able to do this and say OBS client send request. Now I would have to have some kind of yeah, something in there. So let's see. So here the way it works is you make a writer and then you do a send binary of the payload. You go prepare a request in the writer. So yeah, it's kind of like a little bit annoying though, because that means that to be able to send a request, the data that I need to send need to be separate from, like I have this header, then data, and prepare request I think writes the header of it. So how would I do that? I could either have two buffers, one which is the contents of the request, and then I write it somewhere else. I don't know actually. I also don't know what prepare request does, because it doesn't have, I guess it would have an internal counter. I don't want to have the thing was like every time I want to make a request, I have to do this in 2 steps. Actually, I don't think that's that much of a problem really. I wonder if I can have 2 writers on the same payload with an offset. Because that way I could have like a prepare request that would have. I would like to keep the payload on the stack though. That's kind of like the idea. The thing is, it's not like JSON. MessagePack doesn't know the depth in which it is. I could just write something and it would work. So I could actually, in preparing the request, I could actually get a pointer to the end of that preparation, like the header, and then write to it. Or even better, I could have a writer write to a buffer and then concatenate the buffers and it would just work. It's a bit annoying because like when I do something like this, it's very concise. I've got one buffer, which is my payload, and I write the whole thing into it quite easily. In the other way, I would have to have 2 buffers and then do a mem copy in between them before sending it. It's more convenient because then I can say every request is done that way. But it's kind of annoying. There's also the fact that I'm not sure exactly how big my payload needs to be, so it might need to grow automatically. Okay, I've got multiple ways to go about it. There is one way, which is sending a request is providing a buffer with a size, and I just simply dump that buffer after the prepare request, like where the writer is in the prepare request. You know, I could have the writer could have write binary and then or write raw or a copy and then just copy right there. That is the simplest one, but that means every request I ever want to make is going to have a mem copy. That could be avoided by just having something that is like very verbose. And that might be solved by using X macros, right? Because I could potentially have something that lets me generate this syntax quite easily using macros, right? Let's have a go. Let's see how I could do that. If I was to do this and it was something called send foo, and then there is obviously some information. These lines here, these 3, are the thing that's going to change. So I could either have, you need to give it a function that will be called and then write to it, or I actually have 2 macros, which is request start and then request end. It seems to me like I would probably be better off doing a malloc with a certain size and have something that allows growing, and then have that pointer in the request and then clearing that when the request ends. Because that way I could do something which is OBS client prepare request here, for example, that would then give me the writer and everything. I think I'm complicating things. I wonder if instead of doing a generic request thing, if I just manually write all of them, I might be better off doing it that way. I also wonder if I could do some X macro stuff. I feel like I'm spinning in circles there, that I'm not getting to a solution because neither of them are correct. So I think I'm going to do the mem copy. That's the simplest one. So let's see. Send request. Send request could be a client followed by a buffer for the body, call it body, and a size t for the length. Yeah, and then I'll do that with the difference being that for now I'm going to do a fixed 1024. Great. Now I do need to get the writer's I need to find the writer's internal data, buffer and cursor. So I should be able to get the cursor. But maybe I should, like in writer, I could do writer like copy. I mean, I just need to move the cursor and make sure I don't overflow. Don't know if I should do that. I'm gonna do it. You're gonna unsigned char star buffer, and actually you're gonna be a const as well. Size t buffer length. Should be right around there. If writer cursor plus buffer length is bigger than buffer what is it called? Buffer. There's double buffer. Nope. Buffer plus buffer length. Okay, first of all, it's not buffer, it's writer. That's why things seemed a little bit odd. Okay, return 0. I don't even support big maps. Return 1. Okay. Don't know if, like, yeah, I'll have, realistically 0 should be good and 1 should be incorrect. Like, I'll have to redo all of these at some point. Anyway, so here I should have enough space, so I can do mem copy into writer cursor, and I should be able to do a mem p copy because it gives me where it moved to, and then I want to copy writer. No, I want to copy buffer and buffer length. Super simple. Now obs.h, right? Here I want to do mp writer copy writer body length. mp write copy. Why did I call write copy? That's a bit silly. Yeah, I think it should be writer. I get why I called it like that now, but yeah, it should be writer. And this should be I'm going to do unsigned because it makes sense too. And obviously I've got a conflicting type now. Well, you already had one. Const unsigned char star buffer size t length. Right. here. So the other thing is, right, so this is the other thing that I want to think about. I've got a fixed size thing, but how do I, I've got this problem of, with my in-flight request, is that I can't really know which one is free next. That is unfortunate, right? Like if I want to reuse them, I can't really. Actually, I can change the order. It doesn't matter. I can just change the order and just always add it at the end. Yeah, because I don't need an index into those. Okay, that's great. Size t requests length. Okay. Do I have an init somewhere? I don't. I may have to do some of this. All right. So now what I can do is I can say struct OBS client handler pointer handler equals client requests at client requests length, and I think I do the plus plus like this, so that way I just change it after. And then the last thing I need is obviously this, so that way I can know what it is. Now I've got a handler, which means I should be able to do. Oh yeah, that's what I'm missing here. What I'm missing here is I'm missing a OBS client handler fn void data. Now I can say handler fn equals fn, handler data equals data, handler id equals client requests counter plus plus. So first and second, I need to change the signature of this, and I need to add a requests counter, which is going to be a uint32t. Okay. Is there anything else in the handler? No, that's pretty much it. Now the one thing I'm missing is OBS prepare request is not correct. So I do want to come here, and this is going to return something. But what I actually want here is struct OBS client star client, because request ID here. In request ID, I want to return ID, with ID being a uint32t of client request counter plus plus. And now I need to set it here. Now what am I doing? String to integer. So C int to string. Now I could use printf and stuff like that, but I don't know if I really want to do that. Yeah, so that's like an actual. So as printf is great, but I would need to know the actual length, which might not really be a problem. Let's do a unsigned char ID buffer. Now let's assume that you can store a uint32, right? Right, and it's unsigned as well. So this is like the max value you can have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So 10 numbers should be the max. Right? Max number of digits in a uint32. That's clear stuff. Then I can do sprintf, which should be fairly simple, because that way I can do this followed by ID. Ah, I forgot that obviously I need to put it in ID buffer. It's interesting because I do a buffer while I do have a buffer here. I wonder if I could do a write row num. I think I'm going to do that. Right. I'm going to have to do a row uint row. No, I won't do that for now. I'll just keep it simple. So here, what's the issue? Ah, because it thinks it's not unsigned. Okay, that's fine. Now this is surely going to give me the length. So, but I don't need, because it does the termination. So I need to do this +1 for the null termination. All right. So now I can just go here and say ID buffer, which needs this. Great. So now I can do prepare request. Now I should have an error with prepare request, and I just need to give it the client, and that should return a uint32t request ID, which I can then use here as request ID. Send request, send binary. Now, that's fine. Now what I'd like to do is basically come here, and I could either say, if you want to send one from the outside, you can do that, but within the source code of the client library, you don't really need to do that. I can make them by hand. The problem with that is that obviously I kind of need a normalized way to do all of this, because here mp writer copy is the code. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I don't like it, but I'm going to do that. Define start request. Define and request. And start request is going to be kind of this, which this needs the client. And I may just say client writer. I'm going to delete it. Put it right there. Let's start with that, and then obviously this is going to need to be put like this. No, that's actually simple, because in reality I don't really need this. There you go. And here I just need a start request with the client, and then I obviously need the end request, which is actually going to be more like this. Just the client as well. There you go. So now I just need to do this and request client. Now request ID doesn't seem to exist. and it's because this is supposed to do uin32t request ID. Right, so this is not ideal, but this actually lets me do stuff a bit better. Where is it using data? Ah, right, so this obviously needs also an update in its signature that says OBS client handler fn followed by void start data. Okay, which I need to replicate right here. Now that seems to work a bit better. Okay, now last thing I need to do, I would like to test this, but I just want to go straight in and say that when you're in flight right here and you just got a request response, you should look through all of the ones that you have. 32t I0 I smaller than client requests length plus I. So you do that, but first you're going to do you're going to want to read the response, and response data is where you want to be, because you've got request type, request ID, request status, response data. Now this is not JSON, and that's just opcode, and opcode has been read from iter item. So I just init it, that's my root, then I recurse into the root, so there's one object, and then I try to find in the map that one. It's a bit tricky because I might have to do it twice. Because I mean this lets me loop through it, but if the opcode is the last one in the message pack, I can't make a decision on the previous fields. Like this has, so there's the bunch of opcodes, right? Where's the opcodes? Here. Actually, just show me the the thing. Ah, right, this is the message that I get, right? I get a D. Ah, so alongside D I'm getting something. So I could reset the iteration, which is easy, scan for D, and then that's the object I'm gonna get, right? So let's see. Can I reset an iterator? I don't know. I don't think I can. So I'm going to create that functionality here. An iterator, this item is a recurse and next. And I'm going to call it reset. Okay. It's right here. So I'm going to slap it right there. So what would that really entail to reset? Because I mean, ideally, I think position, I would like to set the position to 0. The problem is that I don't necessarily know if recursing, oh yeah, recursing is set to 0, okay. And the size doesn't really change, so I literally just need to set the iter pause to 0. That's a very easy, I may just even say that you can't really fail with this one. Okay, I think I'll do that. And then in here, once I have the opcode, what I could do is, I would like to do another function for this one, but I'll just keep it like that. mp iter reset. And when I reset, I want to reset the iterator. Okay, and then I want to do this again. And instead of opcode, I'm going to say data. No data in message. Now the problem is that no data in response message, because the thing is, I know at this point that this is a response, so this should be data. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, there should be data. Right, so now I just need to do something very simple, which is go here, duplicate this, call it D, call it data, go back here. Great. Go back here, actually. And now I should have in my iterator the data, which means I should be able to do a struct mp iter data iter and mp iter recurse of the iterator and data iterator. And obviously this is it obviously? So how do you how do I do parent item? So I just need to do item, which is going to be a dot here. There you go. So I get the item at the position of the iterator that just found the data key, because it's defined in map, so it should point to the value. You see iter item, I read it. So now data iter is on it, which I can then, and I think that the only thing I care about in the response, at least for now, is, I mean, I could look for the status. I could basically grab, yeah, I may want to do a one pass to grab everything. So for that, I'm going to do a do while mp iter next of data iter. Okay. Now how does find in map work? It reads the string and do an strcmp and then freeze it, because reading the string it's going to do alloc. Not ideal, but we can work with that. So in there we're going to want a char star key. First thing we do is mp read string. Don't think, oh yeah, it's read string. And we're going to have a end iter.item. It's going to be data iter.item, and I want to do it inside the key. Okay. And then we can say if strcmp key, and this one is going to be request ID. Then we can actually store the request ID. Request ID equals A2I, I2A. I don't remember which one it is. Okay, that's the one. And then I just need not the key but the actual value. So this is where I need to maybe have another one, which is value here, and then here I'm going to need to do mp iter next data iterator, which is going to let me read into value. Okay, and now I want value. At what point I do a free on value and a free on key. Unfortunately, it doesn't reuse that data. Here I can do uint32t request ID. And the other one that I would like is request status. Request status is an object, which then has like a result, code, and comment and stuff like that. So right now I'm going to skip the status. I don't want to read it, but I'll potentially do the status another time. So else, I mean, I guess I don't really need to do this. I should just put it here because I want to free the key regardless. Right, so now I got a request ID, and what I'm going to do before I go further, no, I'm going to write a lot of code. I didn't send anything yet, so or test anything yet, so we'll see. But it's been like almost an hour of writing code with no testing. If client requests length at I dot ID is the same as request ID, then you want to do something. It's not request length, it's requests. But what I'm going to do to simplify things is I'm going to do a struct OBS client handler, which I will set to this. And this actually, it's not exactly this, it's this, which lets me do handler ID. Okay, great. Now I should be able to do handler fn handler data. Now what I'm missing is that here I actually need to give it a pointer to data iter. Actually, I need to keep the pointer as. So this is the thing I'm missing. I want to compare request data with the key, and if it is, then I want to do this, and actually here I want to do this. Right, and here I just want to have a pointer to the item. I think is what I want. I don't know how to. I would have to create from an item, like I'd have to copy the iterator from it, but I think this is what I can do. So here I could keep a pointer to the item. Maybe I need to create an item from that, because the buffer exists and I just need the right values inside item. So I'm gonna have to copy the item. I think I'll do that. I'm going to copy the item. So I'm going to do a mp item request data. Okay. And I can say request data equals data iter.item. Now, hopefully here, copy the struct to keep pointers to the location of the request data. But actually, what I really want to, once I got the item, is to recurse. And when I recurse, that will give me the iterator to the inside. So this is going to become a iter. And instead of doing this, I'm going to do mp iter recurse from data iter, wherever you are at right now, into request data, which this becomes item. Right, so that should be correct in setting stuff. I'm actually wondering when I do this, like, is item, like, what is item? Item is just a structure, and this one is actually stored inside. So when I recurse, I reconstruct a new item inside. Yeah, so that's fine. That should be just fine. All right, so if I do this, then that's fine. And in here, the problem that I have is obviously I can't really see what's inside, in which case I will do a very dumb printf %.s with request data dot item dot, and this is where I don't know what's inside item, data next type item count size. I want to do data, and I want to write I want to read maybe 16 bytes. Hopefully that's correct. Now I should have some errors here. In that this does not work. Yes, and the reason why is because I don't have the callback. So what I need is handle response, and no, for now I don't need this, and void handle response is just going to be a void start data. and I'm going to do printf got response. And here, well, this is correct that if I'm getting something from dispatch, so if dispatch says continue and I've already sent it, I should end. I'm actually going to temporarily remove this so that I can do more stuff, because in reality what I need here is in my epoll loop, I probably need a signal to or like a custom event to notify that you're done, right? So the true becomes something else, right? Or I could do something dumb like send something, but yeah, anyways, right? So let's see. Right, so let's get started with a bunch of errors to start with. OBS client, so send binary, undefined MP write a copy. So PLS send binary, did I link it? No. I don't even know how that worked before then. But basically I need to go into the make file, and I need oh yeah, it's here, right? So I did an I guess OBS on its own does not enable the MessagePack sources. Is this how it works? Oh, but the MessagePack sources are... No, MessagePack is not a problem. It's the PLS one. So am I using PLS here? Yeah. But I do OBS WS client implementation. I guess that I need to activate it from the outside. Like I need to have one place where it's activated. So I think that makes sense. It's not ideal, but it does make sense. What I do need is basically set it here. No, not include. Define PLS WS implementation. Right, so that's going to be a starting point. Okay, and then I've got like MP writer copy and MP iter reset, and that's because these are changes that I made recently and they haven't rebuilt. And I just wonder if in my make file, do I link? So when I run it, I do a load. You see how this depends on MessagePack lib, but MessagePack lib doesn't really rebuild until something else. So I'm actually going to do lib and then MessagePack lib. I'm going to do that, and then I think this is how you do it. Nothing done for lib. Now that's what's a bit annoying, because the lib is already there, but it doesn't know that it changed. So I wonder if I need to give it some inputs, right? And I don't know if I can give it a directory. I can try that. Like, if anything changes in there, then you also change. Okay, maybe that did something there. That worked. I don't know if it ran though. I mean, it wouldn't run because I oh yeah, I can give it a scene actually there. Okay, so make run scene, or make scene equals chat run. Move to chat, but I didn't get anything else. It's still working. I didn't break it, but I don't think it did anything else. So I think I'm gonna start dumping way more information in the loop that receives the event, which is going to be here, and whoop, 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 whoop. I need to tidy up so much in there. So in here, that's the idea, right? Could I just print the key? And then I'm also going to add a, I mean, realistically here, I do want some information saying got response, right? I'm not getting any response. I'm not getting anything there. And also I'm still printing OBS opcode. And let me see. And it rebuilt as well. So that should... So I'm not getting any OBS opcode. So unless I'm doing something wrong in here, we're gonna say got data. I realized that every time I run this, it's going to go into the other one. So I may actually send to code just to make sure. Ah, there you go. So got data, and then I don't get any opcode. Is it possible that my move to in flight is incorrect? No, not really. I'm not printing here. This shouldn't cause any issue. So it's possible the state is not correct. I think I can print the state. No, I only have the opcode. Yeah, I won't bother with that. I'm just gonna figure out which one it is. 5. So what is 5? 5. So it is 5, so it should actually come in here. Ah, if it's in flight, I'm not doing anything. That is not correct. And I'm already doing the handshake send. So this in flight, upgraded. Hello, this identified. So I'm not doing any of that. That doesn't seem correct. All right, let's try that. This is where I'm going to start getting errors. Yeah, there you go. Segfault. So now I got opcode request response. Okay. So this is there, and then I should. I get got response, and mp iter reset. This. So it's either find in map that fails, which is possible. Yeah, so it's find in map. Okay. So let's just do find in map. So you basically do iter next. Now the thing is, maybe I reach the end and that causes an issue. Like, I mean, what I'm doing right now is read a string. So maybe I can do printf %s key just to see. So I'll go through them. I read D and an OP. I got the opcode. I got the response. And then I will find in map, and it just fails immediately. I'm going to put one right here and say start find, because it's probably a read string that's causing an issue there, right? Yeah, so read string seems to be causing an issue. Now, what if I was to check I'm probably not in the right place, is what's going on there. Got data, OBS opcode, request response, got response, and start find. Because I'm doing a reset. And when I do a reset, it should do the exact same thing as find in map, right? Because I did recurse root iter. Okay, so maybe there's something more to that. So MessagePack .c, and I've got this recurse, and recurse set the size, but the size shouldn't change. I've got an MP item in it, but the item stays the same. And the size stays the same as well. I don't need to do an init again, right? Because these values are the same. There is a bit of a dodge stuff, the fact that I've got this iter item and I'm giving it as a pointer. Oh, no, it's fine, it's on the stack. I mean, it's passed as a pointer, but it's on the stack somewhere. So recurse, and then I do a read string. Which I think is the mem copy, that's the issue. String size. str size. Oh, it's not getting there actually. So could it be could be something else. Okay, so it does read string. Ah, but the type is not string. So I tried to read something that is not a string. When I do iter next, it does an init every time. Ah, so that means that my item is actually, oh yeah, the item is modified, so I do need to do an init. It's just quite a bit difficult because how do I reinitialize it to where it was from? I guess I don't. I think I just don't have a reset. I think that's probably easier. Because it's so cheap to do that, I think I should probably remove that. Right, let's just go into that. So now that I don't have a reset, the only thing I need to do is recurse with the root, and then that should be fine. Same thing as reset. The only thing is that you need the reference to the parent. Anyways, great. Double free, con recurse type int. That's the error that I got. So I got a response. And con recurse type int, which I don't know comes from, if it comes from there. It does, no, it doesn't. So it's another thing that recurses. Let me check if OBS is still fine. Yeah. So, all right, we're making some slight progress there. This is where I do the recurse, right? And it seems to think that we are on an int. Yeah, so I looped, the idea is that I'm looping and I want to find data. Right, so in theory, I should be on an object. So when I do recurse on the item of the iter, which is this iter there, yep, and I create data iter, and this recurse is not, recurse is parent and an iter. Yeah, so that should be fine. So it thinks that iter is a thing. Okay, one thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to add a MessagePack dump so I can debug these things, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult to do anything with this. So let's do that. Let's go into MessagePack.h, and I'm going to add a very simple at the top, which is going to be mp struct mp item mp item dump, and I'm not going to worry. I'm going to use printf because this is just for debugging. You shouldn't be using that in production. You should be using this whole library in production anyway. So right, put it right there, and let's get started. Now what I just need to do is to get the type. So item type, great. If item type is MP type int, right? Oof! It is starting to rain, and I'm not equipped to walk back home under the rain. That's quite a good rain as well. If it's int, I just need to read the int and print it. MP read int item, probably pointer to item, and val. Oh, I realized that this is already a pointer to an item. Oh, I'm already in set it to 64. Okay, that's fine. Printf. So this is where I kind of maybe want to have an internal thing that just has the void MP item dump indent struct MP item and then depth uint32 t u wow uint32 t struggled there. I'm gonna do this. Okay, MP item dump indent item 0. I'm going to recurse here, I think. I don't know if I'm going to recurse, actually, I don't know. Right, printf, and this is where I kind of want to write a... I think the line returns are going to be handled by something else. Like, let's say I loop through the item of a map. Yeah, I think that each item should handle their line return. But then if I'm printing a string, I don't really know if this is like the end, right? Yeah, that's fine. I just don't do it and then something closes it for me. Okay, great. Percent, what was it? LU and val, right? Something like that. The only thing is that obviously when I'm printing something, I don't know how I'm going to indent stuff. Like I kind of open. Let's ignore the depth for now. Let's just worry about the stuff. Right, I'm going to do another simple one. String char star val read string s free val, and then the last one is that I'm going to do for now is item type MP type map, and that's where I would need to do a recurse. I think I'm going to recurse here. This easiest. Struct. Damn, I can't type. Iter MP iter MP iter recurse with item and a pointer to that. Do while MP iter next of the iterator. And the do you're doing is twofold. Char star key mp read string and iter.item pointer to the key, followed by a printf of a string, followed by this, like this, and the key, right? Then we do mp iter next, iterator, and then we do a mp item dump of end iter.item. That's pretty much it, right? The only thing I'm missing here is a free on the key, and I think that's what I would need to do. Obviously this is gonna do something. And dump is indent depth +1. Okay, see if that does anything. Okay, so now I can go to OBS, and when I come here in my got response, I can just do mp item dump of the root. Start with that. D request ID 0, request status code 100, result seems to be null somehow, request type set current scene op7. So I have a request ID. The only thing that I'm missing actually in this thing here is I should do a printf of a line return right here to make it a little bit palatable. There you go, D. Should I try to do something even more readable by doing printf this? Yeah, and then this. Okay, that is much more readable. D request ID 0, request status is an object, but the result has nothing in there. And I wonder if result is a type that I can't support, then I would be completely off. Although D does have the right size, so I'm able to read the OP, the correct type. It feels like I'm already on 7, which is the opcode that I was reading, and I'm recursing on that rather than the item, right? Could that be the problem that I'm doing there? Could that be what I'm doing? Because on the recurse I say root and iter. I kind of recreate the iterator, but I wonder if it's something in there is old. I can't do that, can I? No. Actually, it's this recurse that's causing an issue. It seems like I do find, like I'm gonna come here actually, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print I'm gonna print iter item to see if I've reached D. You see, it just prints 7. So for some reason, iter item is on the value of the opcode rather than on the data. Unless I change data, no, it expands to D. So find in map should land on the one that is D and then just stop there. I also wonder what is status is another object. Oh, status is this. Result is a boolean, and I don't read the boolean, probably. I don't print it properly. And then there's the comment. Just to make it simpler, I'm also going to add the boolean. bool, okay. MP read bool item val if printf %s val true false. Okay, let's try that. Start with I wasn't printing the thing anyways. I wasn't printing the whole thing. All right, that's not what my point was. It feels like the find in map seems to work with the opcode, but it doesn't work with the other one. I wonder if find in map has the problem where it's like it actually goes to the end, because I don't think I use it more than this time. I use it for opcode. I use it for opcode twice. Really? Why would I use it for opcode? Data, opcode. Yeah, and why would it be? There's three. Oh, there's the definition, the data, okay. So I usually before code. So it's very possible that I've just got a bug there and never found it. Yeah, so it's interesting because like at this point, if I've hard coded this. I wonder why I was always going to opcode. Okay, now I've got request ID 0, request status, code result, request type 7, and then I got request ID, request status, request type, code. Why is code uppercase? Oh, it's because I was printing it, wasn't I? No. So got data. I'm gonna remove this. Opcode is fine. Got response can disappear. And then I don't know why it printed code. But yes, I got request ID and request data. Oh, got response uppercase is my handler. Great. What is code? I'm probably printing this in here. That's what it was. Right, so this is the one thing that I'm missing there, is the data inside this seems to have something that says code. Oh, code is the name of the scene. What the fuck am I talking about? That's the string, that's the actual value of the data, right? So I'm expecting that to be there. Okay, great. So it's working. obs.h, is it obs.h? Yes, so I'm already in there, right? So my handler function needs to be a little bit different this time, because turns out that I do want to receive a MP. Do I give it an iterator, or do I give it a pointer to an item? I think I need to give you a pointer to an item, because you can't really be, yeah, I'll give it a pointer to an item. So struct MP item pointer, that's the function. Now what that means is here you've got a problem, or do you? Because you can receive request data dot item, and it's important that you deal with it immediately, because it will automatically be freed at the end of all of this, right? So you have to be careful with that. Same goes with once you find the handler right here, and after you call the function, you need to do client requests at I equals, and that's where, I mean, if these are structures, I'm moving the entire structure. So I actually would probably want to do instead a mem move, sure. Don't know if I would do a mem copy or mem move. Mem move is just making sure that, like, if you want to move it to somewhere that overlaps. Yeah, if there was a risk of overlap, but there's no risk of overlap. So in here, with the size of a struct OBS client handler, and with the source being client requests at client requests length minus minus. And I probably want to give this, and this. And this should basically read it, then decrement it. But that's risky, because if it does that right there, oh, it returns before decrementing. Okay, that's fine. So it gets the last item, copy it where that is, decrement so there's more space at the end. This is the size. The handler is removed. Great. So now if I go to main, I can say that I've got a response, and it comes with a struct mp item. Great. And I can say that in here I expected a string, so I could say char star scene name mp read string item and scene name. Got response %s scene name free scene name. That's what happens when you use C strings. Got response null. Interesting. MP item dump. Actually, I don't even know, because I seems to be dumping it here as well. So I wanted to make sure that I get a large number, which doesn't seem to be correct. Request data. So I create that request data from the item that I find, but I wonder if this has some pointers in some places that are just updated as I move. It shouldn't really. When I initialize it, it's completely independent, so I could try to do a mp item dump here on data iter.item and see if I get the same thing. Oh, is it possible that it didn't find request data? But it was sec fault, otherwise it would have sec fault, right? 0. So this is just skipping the key, this is skipping the key, this is skipping the key. After you check the key. I do forget to free the key. Oh no, I free the key after that. So it is not finding request data, interestingly enough. Response data. Ah. That should help a little bit. So I am printing the key and I'd say request ID, request status, and request type. I don't seem to be getting a response data. Unless it stops early. But it is optional. But it's odd that when I was printing it, the one that I found, it was saying code. So unless I was pointing to some unfortunate place in the stack, you know, it would be okay. Well, maybe that's correct. So let me see. Let's do root request status, request type. Yeah, I'm not really getting a I'm not getting a something there, right? So I just need to basically what I need to do is to say this, and the only thing is request data there. It's like I may want to have a pointer to it. Like, how do I know that it was initialized? I mean, apart from bool found response data, which this needs to be response data, which I did the wrong thing. I got a problem with Vim and stuff like that in some of those things, because the rename integration with LSP, you change the name, you hit return, and it commits the thing. But when I do something like this, where I say, oh, I want to actually add this at the beginning of both, I need to hit escape for it to apply to all of the place where they were used. And I'm so used to hitting escape instead of return. When I rename variables, I end up just using escape instead of return, which cancels, which is the exact opposite thing that I wanted to do. So response data is there, and I'm going to do found. It's a bit dumb. I mean, it's not that dumb. And here I just need to say found this, otherwise no. You know, instead of a boolean, I could have a pointer to it and then set it to null initially. But the thing is that the way this works is that this lives on the stack for this function here, and you need to do something with it right there. Like, you can't keep a reference to it and do something with it later. You need to read the data here and there, because as soon as I'm done with this, it'll just jump out. And here I should actually do a break as well, because I'm kind of done with this. All right, segfault, great. I mean, great, not great. While I'm here, actually, what I'm going to do this. That is not the right thing. They go do that. That way I'll get a bit more information. So string length on handle client read on OBS client dispatch is an issue. So 274 seems to be an issue here. Accept key. Actually, I don't really know why that would happen. What's the last thing that I changed? The last thing I changed was around sending null. So I guess what I need to be careful with now that this can be null is to say if item is null, return, right? I'm just going to printf handler with as many typos as I can to see even where I go. No, I'm getting something really odd there. So either there's a connection issue. So heap buffer overflow when I do string length on handle client read, which then does a string length for the accept key. Oh wait, no, that's the reading. but it's allocated in the base 64. Okay, yeah, no, that's not an issue. The key has been the same. The accept has been the same as well. So I'm not sure why that would have changed. It may be one of those. I'm allocating with calloc in my OBS base 64 in main, and I'm saying you should allocate this much. And I'm reading 30 while I'm allocating 25 bytes. Is that what happens there? So that's the encoded length, which is allegedly this number. I don't know why. I don't know why this area of code started fading. That's the thing that's a bit odd to me. 25, yeah, makes sense. So I'm actually wondering, like, when I do string length, it looks like it's basically reading beyond, right? You know, I return it like a base 64 encoded value, which was written to, but then when OBS OBS.h 274 does a string length of the accept key, which has been calculated there. It tries to read 30. It tries to go at 30 what is actually only allocated 25. But it should stop because 25 was allocated specifically there. I'm going to do a string with only 25 this time, and accept key. Let me have a look here. So my bar crashed again, it seems. It's interesting. I really want to go see the logs for the bar after that bar at the top there, because sometimes it just gets stuck in a way that it just uses 100% of a CPU. So there's one thread that's probably busy waiting, and sometimes it just silently just like freezes in a way. So this is the value that I'm getting here, and that seems to be correct. So now what I'm going to try to do is to see at accept key 25. Ah, 24. Do I just need to allocate one more? I'm getting an 8. Is it as dumb as allocating one more? But I'm doing +1 already there. I don't I'm not too sure why what I changed had this impact, and I feel like I'm just potentially overwriting somewhere. So it's 26. So this is writing 26. It doesn't make sense because one, the input stayed the same, so the output should be the same. 2, the length of the input for the base 64 encoding is the same, which should yield the same output, which is where maybe I should check buffer len. but this wrote 26 for some reason, and I have allocated 25. I'm very confused as to why this is happening. Right, we're gonna figure this out and then calm down. Buffer length is 20. Base 64 is, you know what, I'm gonna try to do 32. See what that does. So that it works. I get handler and I get null in the data, which I think is correct. Okay. And I get an L there. So let's see in here. So it does seem like, yeah, it seems like I just got something wrong there. Although I don't know why I have like an empty string there. Okay. $29. $28. So the encoded length calculation is just wrong. Okay. Calculate length of base 64. You need 4 times n over 3 characters to represent n bytes, and this needs to be rounded up to a multiple of 4. The number of unused padding card resulting in the rounding up to will obviously be 0, 1, or 2. Unpadded. So this is unpadded, then you do +3 and the tilde 3. You know what? So +3 and tilde 3. 4 times buffer length over 3. I actually wonder if like adding these caused an issue. What I don't understand is why this would have changed. Now I get 29. Because of rounding errors, the multiplication, if the multiplication happens first, then it works better. Okay. Okay. I just don't know why it worked before with the brackets, because the input was the exact same, unless OBS changed, but no, the accept key is the same one. So I don't know what changed there, because the input is correct. Request response handler, like everything is fine otherwise. I found it very odd. But anyways, this should be fine now. I get handler, and I can just stop it. So now what I could potentially do as my main, just for fun, in 32T event fd, and I can do it's very simple like this: event fd equals event fd 0. This flags, I think. 0 flags. And from there I can just do something like this. Event FD and event FD. Okay, and then when I get something here, I can say write one right into event FD one size of 1 uint 64t 1 equals 1, right? And then from there, right before that, I can say quit equals true. This is going to be quit instead of that. And here I can say while not quit, do this. And I can just do this, remove the this and this, right? So what this is going to do is if it finds the other event, it's going to loop and it's going to unblock it. Okay. Okay. There's one leak, but that's fine. I do a calloc in accept from key, and I never free the accept key. I think that's what it is, right? So I free it. But I free it if it's fine as well. And this is calculate accept from key, right? So PSWS 170. Yeah, I do a calloc in there, and you're saying that I never free that. I'm a little bit if it's not the same as a mismatch and I free it, would casting it cause an issue? No, not really. Here I free it, except key. Calculate CFT, so I do a calloc for concatenated. Oh yeah, I guess I never free that one, but I don't need concatenated once it's finished. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna... yeah, it should just update it. Except that I probably need to touch src main just to rebuild. There you go. And then now I got shutting down and it ends. Okay, so but now I've got a handler. Now what I can start doing actually is something a bit more interesting, just to make sure that it works, is I could do a get version, right? So if I go to OBS, this is the last thing I'm going to do. I want to finish a bit early today. Now we have a we have this one. Okay, yeah, that's your signature anyways. We have this one, right? And then if I go into the documentation there, by name, set the name of the scene. What I'm looking for, program, current program. Get current program scene, set current program scene. Okay. Get version, I think is where I want to look at it. So I think it should be simple enough to just say get version. Okay, which does not need an input actually. All right. And now I can go where this is send request. I can go where this is. No, I can go where this is. Yank it. The thing is, the problem with start request is that if you don't need any data, you might have a problem. So let's just try. Get version. Okay, now I kind of want to I'm gonna write uint 1. Sure, why not? And I don't need to write this, I need to write this. The problem that I have is that if when you do get version, the request data is optional and it shouldn't be set, then right now there's no way for me to just not do that, because I've force set, like I hard code set request data and I prepare it to be set. So unless I do something that just says, you know, set the request data or not, or I move the request data into all of the every single function that I call, I've just set the request data. I want to see about, see there's a question mark there. See request object optional. Right, just to do it properly, and because it's optional, start request and more precisely prepare request will not have this in. Instead, I will have to put it in every thing that needs it. So here, and then get version doesn't need to set it, but this is where I can start my macro collection, because in here I should for sure, I'm going to use it internally, yeah. So here I'm actually going to say WS key request data. OBS WS key request data. It was only used in one place. Okay. Main, and then now instead of doing this right away, I could actually, when it's in flight, I could first do OBS client get version. Client handle get version. No, actually I'm going to pass the client, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I've got handle get version, which shall be right here, static void handle get version, void start data struct mp item star item paste. I got the client, and the client doesn't exist. Client is struct obs client, client equals data. This can get its reference removed, and it's super simple. But I can do mp dump item, so I get the it's actually item dump, right? The client is on a pointer in there. It's not an address. Can't request type int. I mean, unless my response is an int, because I'm kind of back in the same area there. Maybe get version. Does only return an int. No, response field, OBS version, real socket, RC version, OBS request, platform description. It should be like a whole object, right? That's the idea. So what I'm getting here is I'm trying to do a next on something that, like I'm recursing and I can't find something. I get identified. I guess my problem is that I may be sending the right thing, because I don't remember actually setting the name. See, set current program scene is a big problem there. const char star request type, and probably prepare request is going to have to be modified. So here I need request type, which needs to be provided to me. Const char star request type, which obviously is going to cause a problem with the signature, but I'll look at that after. This is the one. Start request is going to have to be request type with prepare request being request type. And then now I've got this, which should be getting a this, and then this one, which should be getting a get version. Okay. All right. And then finally, the signature is not correct because I need request type in OBS client side request defined right here. Right. Same error, but well, I'm not too sure why. I wonder if I could, I mean, OBS is running. I could try to do log files, view current log. This is not really going to tell me, right? It's not going to tell me connected, end of file. Yeah, it's not going to tell me much. All right, so I am back at this problem. So I guess what I can do here is I get a read, and right there in here I should do mp item dump of a root item. Wow, this is like even before that. So it's when it tries to read the opcode. I mean, I guess if the status is not correct, could that be the issue? So D, OBS Studio version, OBS WebSocket version, RPC version, OP0, hello, opcode identified. Oh, so it's saying identified, but when it does identified, alright, so yeah, so it does, I do get identified, and then it tries to do recurse int. But what was the current state? That's the thing, because if it's identified, so it's hello, identified, and it should just switch it to in flight. What's the stack actually? Because that could tell me 316, right? Ah, so this is like, this is right when I get the, right when I get a response from my get version, right? This is before you can do anything with it. Find in map. I'm getting 15. Isn't that odd? I'm getting just 15. When I do dump, the root is 15. Could it be the parsing of a frame that's incorrect? That's not even, did I save it? is here, offset 2. Okay, so 2 seems to be correct. So what if I try to print a little bit of the message pack? Like maybe 8 bytes. Enable. So is it possible that like what I'm getting back is not it's a string with 15 characters, right? That's what I'm getting there, right? So if I look for like 16, unable to decode. Unable to decode message pack. Ah, so it's what I sent is incorrect. But I find it odd because JSO is very JSON-y. JSON exception pass error. Okay. Just print as much as you can. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't run it. Error at byte 44. What's the actual size of the buffer? Like I want the length. 512. At least should have provided 512. Okay. So it looks like in some cases what you get back is not like a whole object. It's like you get an error back. Right? So it's possible that like you're getting, there's a request status. So it looks like I am getting a request response because this is where, actually no. Ah, so in some cases I'm getting something that doesn't have an opcode. I'm just getting a raw error. Okay, so this is where I need to reinforce it. So what I could do here is to say if, and for some reason it thinks it's a number because it does a dump and it thinks it's a number, which is really odd. Yeah, actually, this is completely wrong. Like, I mean, it is. I don't know why it's just sending me something like that. Okay, I don't know why it's sending me something like that. Anyways, it points to I'm not saying it correctly when I send the thing, and maybe scene name was correct, but start request and I'm printing a 1. Yeah, that's the problem, is that I removed the thing. So why would I add a 1 here? So that was my problem. No, it's not. I'm still getting 15 and whatever. Although I've seen it before that like I had to redo it a few times. See, sometimes it just hangs. Right, so I'm still getting the same error. Okay. Get version is gonna go into start request, which is gonna grab a request ID and then, well, actually no, it's gonna create a writer and prepare a request. Preparing a request is writing a map with 2 items and then writing a map with 3 items. Now that's the problem, is that I don't know if there's going to be something in there or not. I should put a 2 there and then retroactively adding a 3 if I know that there's going to be something there. So I either have like in here a bool that says, oh, you need to also provide, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna say bool has request data, has data, and here's gonna be has data 3, otherwise 2. And I may even do if has data, then I can put the request data, right? Right. Which means in send request, no, it's prepare request. Oh, prepare request is not. That's great. Has data. Now this one does need to be put in there. And to be honest, like send request, I'm just going to delete it. It's just too messy. I don't need it. Start request is a little bit. So here is I'm going to have to say true, and the other one's going to say false. It's terribly. It's terrible for the readability. Might make it functions instead. Okay, and then finally I have to say send request, and I'm just going to delete it. Okay. Should be a little bit better, somewhat. Available request. Oh, there you go. Unknown type DC. Okay, great. So this is a new type that I'm not supporting. So yeah, I'm getting request ID 0, request type get version, request available requests is DC. So this is where I need to figure out some stuff, right? So available request is an array of strings, and I think it's probably really big. And in the MessagePack spec, MessagePack documentation spec, there should be a table here which gives me, there's a fixed array, and if I'm remembering correctly, I'm getting unknown type with DC. And if I look at DC, I may find myself a array 16, which I don't support. And array 16 is just this, and then the following number is something else. So do I have the ability to just do an array 16 here? I don't think I've done arrays. I've done arrays. So here, else if item data at 0 is equal to MP array 16 byte zero XDC. Do I need well, I used it here, so 0xDC, 0xDC, no, MP, I want to call it like a discriminant or whatever, MP format, okay, MP format byte array 16 0xDC. Well, I kind of like it lowercase in this instance. Okay, and then there I need to do this. Item count is going to be 1, or maybe not. Array 16. What's array 16? String array format family 16 is, I need to read 2 values. I need to read 2 bytes and put them there. So I think it's kind of like what I'm doing with I just need to say size, but how do I read the size? string 8. Oh, I don't think I've done something that how do I do the uint then? Because how do I calculate item count? I can't calculate item count right now, so I'm going to say 0. Item next is item data. So +1 for the first byte, basically +3 because there's all those. But that means that here, what I want to do is, I should be able to do it properly, is going to be a uint32t, actually, so you need to think about that, of item data at 1, okay, and I need to see which way I shift them, because this is where things are interesting. When I read an int there, I kind of read them like this, so I do this and this. I just need to yank this pretty much. Like this. And then there, I just need to say items count. And next 1 and 2. Items count. Printf %d, I'm gonna print it. Items count. Okay. FC. Okay, great. If there's a request and I get a big number, it's fine, because I'm printing it as an array and not reading the array properly. But where would I get this item count then? I guess when it just reads it, that's the number. So do I have like 24,000 requests? That doesn't seem correct. Should I print the 2 bytes that I have? Because I use next instead of data. That's kind of annoying. Okay. Is the number changing every time? No, it's not. Okay. So now I can do item data at 1, item data at 2, and I want 2 hex. I can try to debug what that is. 0 and 9, 7. I'm actually tempted to do something a bit dumb, or maybe not. I kind of want to dump the response and then load that up in the MessagePack stuff. Actually, if I go there and I say this and I say, oh, I can't decode it, can I? No. MessagePack decoder online. Oh, I can edit it there, right? So what I want is, oh, but I can't type in here. Okay, there's a big problem in this. I want DC 0097, and it doesn't update. Okay. Extra 3 off. Okay, great, but you're not telling me the actual error. Oh, it's hex actually that I wanted. Not base64. Offset is. Why are you not gonna tell me the error? MessagePack DC 0097 0x. No, but DC is not. Is it because I'm not using? No, I'm using the right thing. Although this one just. Wow, this is, all these are terrible. Ah, there you go. Unexpected error MessagePack data. Great. If I said 0, 1 and then 0, 0, I got it right with 0. Okay. Now 9, 7, and I get a bunch of zeros. There's a point where it should actually data read but end buffer register. I mean, it's possible. Oop, I got it there. There you go. So how many items do you have? I have 152. I've got 151 items. So how do I convert this 97 into 151? 0 and 97. So we can do hex to decimal because they are the other way around. Actually, no. Let me just get this one. 97. Actually, I want binary this time. 151. Oh, it's literally 151 there. So I need to put this one. So I need to get them in order. So the only thing I need to do here is the one that I need to shift left is this one. Oh yeah, I need to basically swap that and do a 2. I don't know what this number that I'm printing is. I think it's items count. Like, it doesn't make sense. If I get data 1 and I only grab, if I cast that to 64 and only grab, and data 1 is going to be 0, and if I move 0, wait, why is it 1 and 2 here? That's incorrect. If I move 0 to the left and this one to nothing, is what I would need. 151, yes. And I got a vprintf on like dump indent and all that stuff. But that means that I now know that I have 151 item, and if I go to dump, which is where things are going to get a little bit more tricky, I should be able to do this, paste, and array, and do something very similar, except that I don't have a key really. I should be able to do a open and close, and instead of reading the string and printing and whatever, I should just do dump and line return, and I don't need a key. Available request 097, so I need to I'm pretty sure that I remove those prints. Ah, there you go. So it is actually printing a bunch of, like, these are the available requests, doink doink doink, and then I get an error where I'm trying to read string. So it's quite possible that it's bigger than the buffer. So what I should have is something that just says for all of these reads and everything, I should have a end of buffer, right? Because I kind of know the thing, right? So I need a state, which is going to be, do I have like a state or like an error? I'll do it another time because it's time now. But anyways, is this still working? Yeah, I see it. I can, right. So it's like, and it was there the whole time, so that should be fine. And if we look at the, here you see this has been connected there. It doesn't have the session duration though. That's interesting. All right. Anyways, that's it for today. It's okay progress. A bit slow, but I'm happy to have tidied up some of the stuff on the OBS logic. The request response seems to be working fine. The problem that I have is obviously there's a bunch of types in MessagePack that I'm not supporting because I need to add them like one at a time. And I think that the next issue that I have right there is that I'm probably reaching the end of my buffer. So far I've only had like responses that fit into one size. And if we look at OBS, it's quite likely that I have something somewhere that says buffer size, max buffer length, right? And it's possible that I went out of that. I mean, I could try to just do something like this and see if it works better. You see it just goes a bit further down. But then I find another 15 con request type int. So, I mean, I don't exactly know what that is. Yeah, I'm probably just not pointing the right thing. But yeah, so the next thing I need is to have all of my read operations have a status that is returned that would say, potentially it's the end of the buffer. And if I reach the end of the buffer while trying to read, then what I should do is just try again and build a bigger buffer. I mean, it's, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll just keep it big for now. But yeah, so this actually gets me the 151 available requests, the supported image format, the RPC version. It finishes it up, and then I get request response, and then it prints available requests, and then 15, and it says con request type int, and I think it's getting 15 somewhere. It says con request type int, and then kind of like fails, which, yeah, I'm not too sure what that is. I guess this request response there is the response to switching the scene, isn't it? Like, actually, if I go to the chat scene and I run it again, it has actually not changed it. So it failed before. Yeah, it seems like I dumped the response, and then after dumping it, it goes, when it tries to do something else with like, oh, this is a request response, you should do something with it, it just fails. Anyways, we'll play with that another time. That's it. I'm done for today. Bye.